But Mr. Deveshwar, before I bring in General Dhillon, I want to understand from you. You're saying TLP, Tehreek-e-Labbaik, though a radical Islamist organization, was predominantly seen as supporters of Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz. And Maryam Nawaz is the chief minister. Would she have been on board this massacre that took place of her cadre, of her supporters?
You see, the link between the Barelvi shrines and the Muslim League Nawaz broke at a time when Nawaz Sharif, when he was Prime Minister, ordered the hanging of the guard who killed Governor Salman Taseer.
Salman Taseer, yes.
So Nawaz Sharif was the Prime Minister at that time, and he implemented the Supreme Court decision. He lost a lot of support. And then in the 2018 elections, the army made sure that the TLP came to the fore. It was registered as a political party and became the fourth largest party. It got 2.2 lakh votes. So that is the time the break of the Barelvi groups with the PMLN took place. Today, Maryam has no support.
Yeah.
So for her, she is following the instructions of what Asim Munir would have told her. She is trying to prove her loyalty. She thinks that her continuation as Chief Minister and subsequently becoming Prime Minister is dependent on following whatever Asim Munir tells her to do. So she is playing a very short-term tactical game.
Yes. Yes. General Dhillon, will this escalate into a wider attack? I'm coming back to what's happening at the AFPAC border. There have been some skirmishes. Now there's a ceasefire in place, brokered by Saudi Arabia and Qatar. But will it escalate into a wider attack on Taliban in Afghanistan? Is Field Marshal Asim Munir building up to a regime change in Afghanistan? Because there were some reports that seem to indicate that Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists are moving into Afghanistan along with Islamic State Khorasan, ISKP. They're joining hands with Pakistan's ISI in an effort to take out Taliban's leadership.
Gaurav, first of all, we have to understand why Pakistan is in a state which it is in today on AFPAC border. See, when let's go back into history a little, starting with the Najibullah regime, and then came the Soviets. When the Soviets came, the Americans came in to resist the Soviet occupation of Afghanistan. Pakistan sided with Americans. And then came up the Taliban and Gulbuddin Hekmatyars and all those people. When Americans left, Pakistan aligned with Taliban. Now, when 9/11 happened and Americans came back again under the umbrella of war on terror, Pakistan left Taliban and aligned with USA. Now, when on 15th August 2021, when Americans left again, Pakistan left USA and aligned with Taliban again. And now when Trump wants Bagram Air Base back, so Pakistan is again aligning back with the USA. So Afghans are very clear that Pakistans are not permanent allies, Pakistanis. So therefore, they now know the game. Okay, historically, Pakistan only aligns with someone who comes to, do some nonsense inside Afghanistan. So this time they are very careful. And they have also changed the tag of being Talibanist and all those things. They're now wanting to work in a diplomatic environment the way it is seen across the world. And you've seen their foreign minister inside India for 6 days, even when the war was going on their borders. Now that is the outreach they're having to the world today. And now coming back to your question, will it continue or not? Now the point is, Pakistan thought they will be able to blackmail Taliban into giving up Bagram Air Base. And that's how the airstrikes happened. And what Taliban did was, they converted the air warfare to guerrilla warfare, which is their strength, and attacked their border outposts, which are not mutually supporting, which are not very well manned. There are no officers there, and they're distant from each other. And they created casualties for Pakistan military, the frontier force and all. And now, if Pakistan wants to reinforce the failure of hitting Taliban again, then this will escalate. And the problem with Asim Munir is, he probably assured the US that Taliban is not an issue at all. We will look after them. Bagram will come to you. You come to KPK, you come to Balochistan, and you do the mining of rare earth minerals. We will ensure safety. The Chinese have not felt safe in this area. And after this
Yes.
incident, Americans are definitely not going to feel safe trying to mine the rare earth minerals. And Bagram, now Americans also know Afghanistan very well. Now, after this incident, that assurance of Asim Munir to USA, I think, has taken a big, big hit. And it's now for everyone to watch how Asim Munir's next move will be. Whether he reinforces a failure or he comes down to the negotiation table through Imran Khan or through some other mediatory, even like Qatar and Saudis. There are options.
Okay.
So let's see how it goes.
If lives have been lost, Dr. Tarak Artha, and especially lives of children in Afghanistan, if Kabul and Kandahar have been bombed, will this ceasefire work? Because Pakistan's Defense Minister Khwaja Asif, he's also not very sure if this ceasefire may work or collapse. In fact, he's called Taliban India's proxy. Does this kind of show complete breakdown between Pakistan and the Taliban?
I think it does, because, I mean, on principle, for a defense minister to say such a thing is well, it's a very significant aspect. But the trouble is, Khwaja Asif is not the most, what shall I say, the most amazing minister going around at the moment in Pakistan or anywhere else. So he says all sorts of things. But this tendency to blame everybody, we've seen it for years, right? Particularly, they blame the US. Oh, because of you, we are in this grief now. Conveniently forgetting that it was a Pakistan ISI decision to fund the most extreme groups. That was not the CIA. That was the Pakistan extreme. So they blame everybody. Number two is whether the ceasefire will hold. I also have doubts, because the Afghans are not ones to forget. These people have gone out and killed their children. They've bombed a school.
Yes.
I mean, apart from running over their own citizens in Punjab, which is horrifying, this kind of thing is not something you can do to Afghanistan and get away with.
Yeah. And Mr. Deveshwar, how do you see Imran Khan's offer to mediate between Pakistan and Afghanistan, his relationship with Asim Munir? Is this like a very desperate gamble to get out of jail free, or will Asim Munir be desperate enough even to take this?
No, certainly I'm sure Imran Khan, would have the best of intentions. But again, he feels he's the one who can do it. I don't think Asim Munir will allow him to go out of jail and to negotiate, because then Imran Khan will get all the credit. And that's the last thing he can do, he can afford to do, is to enhance the popularity of Imran Khan. So even though Imran Khan may be able to, but the problem between Afghanistan and Pakistan is structural. It is not a question of personalities. What is it that Imran Khan can bring to the table except talking, whatever, but he can't change the basic structural problems between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Pakistan is convinced that Afghanistan is sheltering the TTP, and the TTP is bleeding Pakistan army. Afghanistan is convinced that Pakistan is supporting the ISKP, who in turn is attacking the Taliban. So where is the meeting ground? There is no meeting ground. And the Taliban don't trust Pakistan at all. You remember Mullah Zaif's book, My Life with the Taliban, when he says, this is the only people which have two tongues in one mouth. With one tongue they speak one thing, and with the other tongue they speak something else. So they don't trust the Pakistanis at all. And I think when the foreign minister was here, he made a very significant statement. He says, we have 6 neighbors. We have a problem only with one. How come we don't have a problem with all the others? If we were so bad, if we were fomenting terrorism, how come the other 5 are peaceful and happy with us? And we have a problem only with Pakistan. And I think Pakistan needs to introspect that out of the 4 neighbors that it has a problem with 3. And an active problem with 2. So there is something wrong with
and you're right.
Pakistan.